Hello and welcome, dear human family, to another video update here on this channel. And if you've listened to my last video, Under the Waters, where I really felt under the waters, not being able to cope with what was going on, and I told you that I needed to take a break for myself, that I wasn't able to serve humanity in this moment, and therefore I had to focus on serving myself. And I have been through quite a week, and that's why I want to share a little bit with you as a personal update on what's going on with me and my awakening journey. And maybe this helps one or the other along their own awakening journey. So if you've felt a little bit under the weather in the past days or weeks or months, I have a very powerful and empowering story to share with you. And it's all about happiness, health, and strength. I'll be talking about what happened with me and what I experienced on Halloween on the 31st of October, which, as people may know, is not only one of the most important dates energetically and also known by the satanic cult, where they do their rituals because of the energies in the field on the earth that are very powerful, and they use those energies, as we know, for malevolent purposes. However, me and a very good friend of mine decided to use that date and do a special ceremony, namely a ceremony with the amazing medicine that is magic mushrooms. And I can tell you it had a profound healing effect on me, and I'm still integrating everything that I have experienced and all the insights and information packages that have flowed into my consciousness after a bubble was busted with the impact of the ceremony. So it busted a bubble of low vibrational emotions that had me experiencing a low vibrational perception on a low vibrational energy and frequency, and kept me trapped in a low vibrational feedback loop that is literally like hell. And one can give the name depression toward it. It's a state of being that's where it's difficult to get up in the mornings and you ask yourself, why am I even here? Why am I bothering? Nothing ever changes. It looks like you've tried so much and still you're at this point. What's the point? And on Halloween was the right time to do something new. And after half a year of not taking the medicine called magic mushrooms, I did so, and it was an incredible experience. So we sat by the river in nature. We went there at 7 o'clock in the evening, put our chairs up and started a fire, and we took in the medicine. And then, after taking in the medicine, there's no way back from then on. And I was like, I'm glad that I don't think about actions too much and just head right in without thinking and just see what comes. And I tell you what came. The first 2 to 2.5 hours, my experience was filled with anxiety. Like taking in the mushroom, and I had never taken as much as I did on Halloween. So I really went for it because something inside of me told me today I really have to go for it. No fear, just take that portion that you have and just go with the flow wherever it takes you. And where the mushroom took me the first 2.5 hours, I would have hoped that I had declined the offer for the medicine. Like, the deepest fears inside of me came up. The paranoia, psychotic states of being I was experiencing on the mushroom, and it came to the point where I couldn't even sit by the fire anymore. And I told my friend, you know what? I have to walk away now. I have to go somewhere. I have to go away because I can't deal with it anymore. This is getting too much. I was feeling psychotic. I was feeling incredible, like the fear, like the deep underlying fear that is deep in the unconscious of mine was rising into the conscious mind, and it was so difficult to deal with it. But I still stayed with it. Obviously, you can't run away once you're in the experience. You can't really turn it off unless you are very experienced with the medicine. There'll probably be ways, but I had to face it right on. And after going through the incredible fear and just realizing I just have to feel through it, whatever my brain is interpreting, these emotions are just coming up to the surface in order to be dealt with, and it's a great opportunity to cleanse that, because everything that is stuck in the body, like stuck emotions, anxiety, fear, depression, psychosis, whatever it is, let it come up. So during the ceremony I changed my attitude and it was starting to get better. I was starting to feel better, and I was like, oh, maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel. And there really was light at the end of the tunnel. It was such a relief when clarity started to settle in. And ever since that ceremony, where we were out in nature consuming mushrooms, I can really say that I busted the depression bubble that I was in the last few months. And it completed a circle. It went full circle. It completed a whole cycle that started with the breaking up of the Gnostic Takeover crew that was consisting of me, Errol and Ahmed, and the separation of our ways. That was really the trigger moment where my life changed dramatically. I've since moved back to my parents. I gave up the apartment that I was living in, and many other things have changed in my life since then. And that was the 31st of May, where I was entering into a new phase of my life. And it's been a very, very difficult 5 months, and that cycle was ended on the 31st of October. And it wasn't just the mushroom and the mushroom ceremony that we did on the 31st that was really healing for me and taking me out from that bubble I was in, but it was everything to do with what I was doing before and the disciplines that I implemented. For everyone of you out there who's having a difficult time, which is very, very easy to have. I mean, it's more, there's more people suffering from the situation, what's going on right now, than ever before. And that's why I'm doing this video, to share with you a little bit of an insight of what really helps you through the dark times. And it's all about the shadow work. The shadow work is the most important work, the internal work, the internal shadow integration work, which lies at the basis of the great work of all ages, of all the sages, of all the so-called enlightened masters had to go through and face their shadows. And I wanted to share with you that for 2 months, I stopped a habit that I had, which was drinking alcohol. I stopped smoking CBD and tobacco. I stopped smoking completely. And I put in new habits, okay? And it's habits that inform and program our subconscious mind, our unconscious, that then filters through into our conscious mind and dictates our experience that we have as an experienced reality. So the reality that we experience comes from the unconscious programs that we call our habits. So when you change your habits, you change your experienced reality. That's one of the things that I can share with you that have a massive effect. And I've now had 19 days of jumping into the cold water in nature. I'm very happy to have a river 5-minute walk from where I live right now. And I have the opportunity that as soon as I get up in the morning, that's the first thing I do, I jump into the ice cold river. I started with just 10 seconds and very quickly went up to 3 minutes, and that's where I am at the moment. Between 3 to 5 minutes I stay in the ice cold water, and as it goes by Wim Hof, what I learned from the great man, the ice shaman, Wim Hof, you let the body do what it is capable of doing. And jumping into the ice cold water, the water symbology represents emotion. So this is a way of not only starting into the day in a fresh state, but actually this has profound health effects, like reducing inflammation and lots of other amazing things. But also, and this is what I wanted to tell you, it also makes it possible to heal trauma. Because it's also, like, trauma has to do with shock. And when you jump in the ice cold water, that also has to do with shock. And then you leave the body in there in that cold water and let Mother Nature inform you with the information in the water of nature. And when you do this on a regular basis and you show the commitment, this will bring you health, not only physically, but also mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. And that I can talk from experience. Happiness, health, and strength. It makes you strong mentally and together. And also, next to the ice cold water swimming, I have also started the breathing exercises by Wim Hof that have also had an amazing effect on me on all levels. And underneath in the description below, you find a link to the English version of the breathing exercises that really saturate your body with oxygen And doing this regularly is something that really helps deal with low vibrational emotions and transform them. So, what I wanted to say is the mushroom ceremony at Halloween was the cream of the crop, the icing on the cake, and the needle that busted the bubble. But the mushroom, I magnetically attracted my dear friend to come to me with the mushroom, and I magnetically therefore attracted the mushroom into my life in order to have this healing experience. But it was due to the attitude that I showed before immersing myself into a Halloween mushroom ceremony. It was the attitude that I showed, that I intend to be happy. I intend to be fully empowered. Do whatever it takes and let my shadow side come to the surface and deal with it with responsibility. The ability to respond, which is the healing and the integration of our shadow, instead of reacting to the triggers of our environment, be that people or external events that are happening around us in the world. And on that subject, just to end this update here, I've recorded Navigating the Matrix with Natural Law Principles, Episode 7, Part 1. I recorded today, and I will upload this episode in the coming days, so stay tuned to the channel, and there will definitely, it's a special episode. It's 1.5 hours long, where I go even deeper into how shadow integration work is the great work, how it's done, what has helped me, and how shadow integration work relates to our awakening journey, and how it relates to the situation we find ourselves in as humanity in those times of great challenge. So I hope you've enjoyed this update here. Stay tuned, there's a lot more to come, and I can truly say every breakdown is a breakthrough, and I love life with all its lows and all its highs, because there wouldn't be a high if there wouldn't be a low, and it's all about balance. And when we are in our balanced state, we are fully empowered, and with that power we can shine our light and transform the world. Much love to you. Take very good care. Bye bye.